How's it going, Arma 3 players and enthusiasts? My name is Fisto, and we're going to take a look today at the Arma 3 Marksmen DLC content. Yes, it is freaking true, and I am freaking excited. VAS have deployed the Marksmen DLC content to the dev branch, and if you don't want to download it yourself, which feel free to, help Bohemia with their bug tracking and suggestions and whatnot on the feedback tracker. If not, stay here with me. I'm going to demo them for you. Let's get started.
Alright, now before we get too into all of the new weapons and whatnot, let's go through one of the more minor but still awesome, I guess I shouldn't call it minor, but another feature that the Marksman DLC has added, and that is new weapon optics. Now there have been two different new optics added with the Marksman DLC. First off, with weapon optics, we have the AMS. The AMS comes in three different variants: black, khaki, and sand colored. This one you can see little reference ticks there added. Zooms in. I'm not going to be able to hit shit right now, so I'm standing up straight. Feels very nice. Next up we have the Kahila. This is CSAT's new weapon optic. As you can see, it comes in a few different styles. The old variant does not have secondary optics included. This one zooms in as well. See, the secondary weapon optics are looking great as well. It is also notable that the SOS has been replaced now with the MOS, which is very similar to the SOS. It's now Marksman optical sights? Okay, Marksman optical sights. And it has new reference ticks there as well. Looking very nice. Good for medium to long range engagements. And now let's move on to the actual weapons included in this DLC. I'm going to start with the NATO weapons. We'll start off with the MAR-10. It's a 338 cal weapon. Comes in three different variants. This is the maximum fire rate of the MAR-10. Alright guys, this next one is a freaking beast. This is the SPMG. Say also a 338 cal weapon. Now I will say this weapon has an extremely low rate of fire for a full auto weapon. That is compensated by the high recoil and high caliber of this weapon. It is a medium machine gun, so 338 cal is pretty impressive for a handheld weapon. This is intended more for deployment, so once bipods come out, it'll be good for MG teams to take up camp in a little area and set up a position at which to fire from to support squads, maybe down hill from them or further away from them. Let's take a look at what this thing looks like while firing. This is with me fighting recoil. As you can tell, without a bipod, it is extremely hard to aim this thing. It's the reload animation. Looking good. This is me without fighting the recoil. Yeah, so as you can tell, it is a lot of recoil. This is me standing up, not fighting the recoil. Alright, next off we have the Mark 1 EMR. You can see it comes in 5 different camo variants. Say 7.62mm Marksman rifle. Let's test it out on the range. And in full auto. As you can tell, I am not the best marksman. Maybe this DLC will help me improve that and get more practice. This is without fighting the recoil. Alright guys, let's move on to the weapons for CSAT. These Persians are freaking decked out, I'll tell you that. These weapons are my favorite. Let's show you what we got. Alright, first for CSAT, we have the ASP-1 Cure. Now the Cure is 12.7 millimeters. It has a built-in suppressor. It's basically the successor to the 9x39mm VSS Ventores that was featured back in Arma 2. This is a freaking beautiful weapon, I have to say. It looks very nice. Comes in both black and in tan. Let's give it a try on the range. I'm not hitting shit right now. So the Cure is a good example of a weapon that has a bullet drop-off after a certain amount of time because of the supersonic, or excuse me, subsonic ammunition. And it also is zeroed for a longer range, so it's difficult to use in that sense. Difficult to master, I should say. So as you can see, with closer targets, we must aim very far down. And for further away targets, we have to aim a little higher. Next off, we have the Cuirass. The Cuirass is a 9.3mm marksman rifle intended for longer range use. Comes in 3 different camo variants. Also, will fire full auto at a quite low fire rate. Actually, might be lower than the SPMG. I may have been wrong. Makes sense though for a longer range weapon. And last but definitely not least, we have the 9.3mm equivalent to the SPMG used by the CSAT soldiers. Say another, I believe, still qualifies as a medium machine gun. Comes in 2 different camo variants. The 150 round belts in these things are so big, I have to have a backpack to carry 2 of them. So as you can imagine, this has some pretty large boxes. This view of the reload animation. Show you again with the mag in. That is actually pretty cool. It's impressive. Let's take a look. This fires in both burst fire and full auto, it looks like. Very, very quick 3-round bursts. This is not fighting the recoil. Standing up doing this. And laying down. To finish out the new weapons in Arma 3 Marksmen, we have the Mark 14. Now the Mark 14 comes in 2 different variants, basically just camo variants, a camo and olive variant. The olive variant is used by the AAF and the camo variant is used by the FIA. This is basically a different name for the M14, the original M14. Has both single fire and full auto. So semi and full. It's nice to have that functionality. 7.62 weapon, of course. Here's the reload animation. Very well done. Next off, we're going to take a look at something that I am flippin' excited for. Check this out. Full ghillie suits. That's right. Full ghillie suits. Check out how good this looks. This combined with a good old balaclava, or the new camo face paint, which I'll show off in a bit, is just mind-blowing. I am so excited for it. These are the NATO variants. Comes with 3 different variants for each 3 factions. So as you can see, each of the 3 factions has its own kind of, you know, underlying uniform. But the actual part itself is the same based on the different variants, which I'm so impressed with. I just can't get over this one. It's pretty darn awesome. Here's the original bushrag ghillie suits that were included in Arma 3. You can just totally see the difference. But you can see, even just laying down in the grass, almost completely invisible. It's great. Can you find the sniper in this scene? Yeah, that's awesome. Marksman DLC also adds some awesome features like the remote designator, this little guy shown here.
Virtual Arsenal has also received a huge update. with the addition of the garage modules, which allow you to basically customize any vehicle you'd like and export directly into a mission, which is very, very useful if you're a mission maker like me. Some freaking cool heavy armor vests were also added to the NATO and AAF factions, which look really cool. They got shoulder pads and everything. Now, overall, I truly believe that this DLC is going to be a huge step for Arma 3. Arma 3 is becoming quite the force to be reckoned with. And I think we all kind of owe Bohemia Interactive team a big thanks for this, because they're including a lot of these features free. Not necessarily the content, but the new features, you know, bipods and the new weapon resting and everything. It's pretty sweet, and they're a really passionate dev team, and they deserve some thanks for that. If you guys like this kind of stuff, want to hear more from me, want to keep updated on Marksmen DLC and future content, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. My videos will pop up on your homepage so you can tell whenever something new's coming out. Otherwise, if you have feedback or suggestions or whatever, you can either post them in the comments if you want to discuss them, or there's also an Arma 3 feedback tracker that's really nice for that kind of stuff. I'll link that in the description. That's what the devs use to keep track of what people want in the game and if there's ever problems with anything. If you want to try these features for yourself, go ahead and check out the dev branch too. Just go in your launch options in Steam and set your beta option to dev branch. Also, there's a showcase coming soon on bipods as well, which have been released now, but at the time I made this video they were not. So thank you. You guys have a great day. Goodbye.